the Act Your Wage trend, which has taken
I'll never back down. I'll never back down. I'll never back down. I get up when I'm bleeding, ready breathing. I'll never back down.
This is the collision of common sense and comedy. This is Defenders Live.
Welcome to Arby's, where we got the Vidyas.
It's crap on top of crap, apparently.
Well, it's crap with a little bit of good and then really bad. So it's really bad and then good to break up the bad.
And then not so bad.
Right. It's a crap sandwich, but it's reversed. It's a reverse crap sandwich.
Okay.
You know, because that's what we're going to do today. Reverse crap sandwich it. Because you know what?
Because it's American.
I found Vidyas, and we all need to see them.
We do. We
All of us need to see them.
What the hell?
We all need to see the Vidyas, and we're just gonna start. I'm gonna go. We're just diving right in.
No context.
No, nothing at all.
Precursors. Nothing.
This is getting sent out to children.
There's no one-size-fits-all puberty experience.
I'm sorry?
If you're trans, intersex, or not...
What's the problem? You good?
Hold on. So you need to back that up.
Already?
All right. Back that. I'm not sure if I heard that right. Let's start that again.
Okay.
I want to make sure I caught that.
Yeah.
One more time.
All right.
There's no one-size-fits-all puberty experience.
There's no one-size-fits-all puberty experience.
Yes, that's correct. That's what they're saying.
If you're trans, intersex, or non-binary, know that you're not the only one feeling confused. For some intersex people, puberty may start later than age 14. You might experience some of puberty's changes and not others, and your body may or may not go through puberty on its own. There are medicines you can take to help your body start the process, like hormone replacement therapy. Some people decide...
Wait, what? No.
This is getting sent out to young kids, by the way. This is from Planned Parenthood. It's getting sent out to young kids.
That's not... Hold on. None of that was true. Like, your body naturally goes through puberty.
Yes. Well, they did say that sometimes it's late, which is true.
Well, I mean, yeah, because every human being is different. But
But
when
you don't need meds for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, and when you say late, like, you can't sit here and say, well, late.
A year later than the rest of them is not late. It's
No,
not like,
if
it's not
you're-
like you're taking. It's not like you're not going through anything until you hit 19.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, if you're a male and you're in your 30s and your balls still haven't dropped,
There's a problem.
Then that might be something, you know.
Yeah, you might need to go talk to a doctor at that
But
point.
again, that's a 1/1000th of a percent.
Right.
Like, that's not anywhere near enough to be able to put. Oh my God.
decide on hormones or surgeries to help their bodies match up to their gender identity, or how they...
I saw you flinch.
I hate you right now.
Yep.
So bad.
Yep. Some people need meds and hormone replacement and surgery at a young age to catch up with what they feel is their gender. That's during puberty.
Feel inside about themselves. Your gender identity is real. you should be the one to decide what changes you want to make to your body.
No.
If you're transgender or non-binary, you may find that your puberty experiences don't line up with your gender identity or how you see yourself.
Hold on.
Uh-huh. It lines up with your natural biology, though.
That's what I was getting ready to say. And don't give a flying fig how you identify yourself or what you think you are.
Just don't give it to.
That's called facts. You know, it's a little thing that, you know.
Crazy little thing.
It's a crazy little thing.
Called facts.
Yeah. You know, the proof is in the pudding, as they say.
No. That's not what they say.
That's what I say.
That is not the reality of this. The proof is in the tasting of the pudding. It is not in the pudding itself.
Well, if you taste it, then it's in the pudding itself.
No, the proof is in
We're
the
not
tasting
arguing
of
the semantics of an analogy right now. What we're doing is we're talking about it. Here's the deal. If you were born and your parents gave you, let's say, a masculine name, and then you spend your life as your parents trying, I don't even say trying, but let's just say, treating you and raising you as a male, and then you turn around and something happens and you just decide one day that, I'm not really a guy, I'm a girl, but you keep the name, they keep referring to you as that and blah, blah, blah. And then come about 13, 14, you start realizing that hair is growing in certain parts of your body that, don't normally grow on women.
Right.
At least not like this.
Not until their 50s or 60s.
Right. And then, something happens in the nether regions, suddenly
and then your voice suddenly goes.
Oh, you can say, yeah, suddenly the twig develops berries and, things just happen.
Right, yeah.
Or let's flip it to a girl. It's a whole lot easier. You've been raised your entire life as a boy, and you say, you've been raised your entire life as a girl, but you just decide one day that you're not a girl, you're a little boy.
But you get boobs.
Yeah, your boobs come out, or the nether regions stay exactly the way they are. That with the vajayjays and things like that.
Things like that, yeah.
None of that changes. And then suddenly, around, say, I don't know, anywhere between the ages of 11 and 13, you suddenly have this really weird experience where you're in the bathroom and you have to, get a whole bunch of cotton and fix things because a mess has been formed.
Because you bleed everywhere.
Right. When things happen that are all indicators and sole indicators of a single gender.
No.
Whether you
single biological sex.
Okay, pardon the hell out of me. Regardless of what you think in your brain is, that is just an extra proof of who you really are. You can deny it till you blue in the face. Doesn't matter.
Right. It is what you is.
It is what you is.
Is you is or is you ain't.
Like, I don't care what you...
But this is Planned Parenthood pushing out the next generation. So here, continuing on.
I hate you.
I know.
As long as
That
you know.
feeling can be uncomfortable, scary, and stressful. If that sounds like you, know that you're not alone. There are medicines you can take to delay puberty for a while. They're called puberty blockers.
Selling this to children, by the way.
And they work like a stop sign by halting the hormones testosterone and estrogen that cause puberty changes like facial hair growth and periods.
It isn't just a stop sign.
No, it's not a...
It is a chemical castration.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Puberty blockers are safe and can give you more time to figure out what feels right for you.
No, they're not safe.
No, do you know what else?
Your body.
You know what you could do? Speaking of if they're saying puberty blockers are just stop signs.
Right.
It's a good thing to hold off until you can decide and you can do whatever.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good idea to hold off on that decision until you're of age.
Right. Well, but if, regardless, there's stop signs. So you can,
Sure.
Get to your
destination.
Yeah, of what you decide you want to be.
Safely.
If you were also suffering from some kind of, stomach flu, if you drink bleach.
That will stop it.
It will stop.
That's a stop sign.
It will stop.
That acts as a stop sign.
Your
it'll
stomach
stop
bug.
Yeah, it will.
It'll
also
destroy
kill you.
It'll destroy the bug, and you won't have to worry about being sick anymore.
It'll also destroy your stomach and you.
We didn't say that. We just said we're talking about the.
It is a stop sign for the stomach bug, though. You're correct.
That's what we're at.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's a stop
Gotcha.
sign for the stomach bug.
And your gender identity. You don't have to have all of the answers right now. So remember, it's all a work in progress, and it may take time to figure out what feels right to you, but talking to a trusted adult and a nurse or doctor may help. Want to learn more? Go to PlannedParenthood.org/teens.
Now I have to ask this question.
Yeah.
So this is about puberty blockers.
Yes. Selling. This is Planned Parenthood selling puberty blockers to children
which inevitably will
or young teens.
put a halt on birthing more children because
Right.
biologically you need a male and a female
Yes.
in order to be able to,
And they have to be biologically able,
right.
capable of.
But
and
yeah,
if you're
but
putting
this-
a hold or a stop on that,
But that's what I'm saying. But you have to start at the very beginning. It has to be male and female. We can go on to
Yes,
the rest of the stuff
right,
later.
yep.
You have to start there. If you're going to induce chemicals that will hinder or block things and change things,
and also castrate chemically.
right? So therefore, you're actually you're inhibiting the idea of actual parenthood because you won't be able to have children.
Yes,
because
so
you'll be
right.
chemically castrated.
You're sterilizing the next generation.
So tell me again how Planned Parenthood cares about family
Eugenics.
because between the straight up slaughter of unborn children and now they're talking about trying to prevent anybody from being able to have children because they're going to convince this next generation and generations after that
It's the funniest thing. We've been complaining a lot about it, or not us specifically, but there have been a lot of complaints over the course of the last 20 years about each generation being closer and closer and closer to being grown children.
yeah
And this is literally what Planned Parenthood is doing.
yeah
They are trying to get into a position to where children age,
yeah
but don't go through the cycle of becoming an adult physically. Which, by the way, just so everything's clear and out in the open, even if it was safe, okay, even if it was safe, okay, and it did not do it had no adverse side effects.
that's a big leap, but okay.
Okay, right. No adverse side effects, completely safe. If that was actually true, which it is definitely not, there are too many factors involved. The most common effect of this is chemical castration, specifically of males.
You want another good analogy for this? This is a car analogy. This is like driving down the highway at 80 miles an hour and throwing your car into park.
And seeing what happens.
Yeah, you were going to destroy the inside of that car.
Yep. So once again, here's the if all of that was true and it was completely safe and it was just a stop sign and you could restart at any time, everybody that decides not to restart but switch over is already down a peg.
Yep.
And the reason why is because the physical surgeries involved in doing those processes need adult members. And by members, I mean the lower half.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have enough material to work with, specifically with the cut a dick off of me, one, when they slice it in half and shove it inside of your body, that they don't have enough material if you're not fully developed.
Weird. Yeah.
It's weird to say. It's weird to say that, but that's the weird part about this. It's like they want to push this. They want to push this idea. But do you not understand the people that actually go through with the surgeries after doing this at a young age? Those people don't have even a basis of normal life afterwards.
Nope.
They have 15 separate surgeries to be done to extend and push in and all the rest of it because
because their body is not growing the way it's supposed to. In order for it all to adapt, you have to go in and have it readjusted
completely. So you're literally making yourself a patient for the rest of your life.
Yep.
With a very, very expensive schedule of surgeries.
Yeah, I'm not personally a fan of the idea.
And a lot of which is somebody shoving something into you.
That's gross. And not for fun.
And not for
a fun way.
And not in a fun way.
Nope.
Does that sound great to you? No.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I'm okay without that. I don't no.
Yeah, I could do without that and be quite happy. Thank you very much.
So no. Anyway, to clean that out of your head, how about this? Speaking of cars.
I happen to be looking at this. I was
Speaking
like,
of cars, how about police footage of some teenagers that decided to steal a very expensive Maserati and run it at about 123 miles an hour?
Oh my God!
You want to see that?
Sure.
Let's take
take a
take
gander
a gander
together.
here, buddy. Let's look at this. Here you go. There it is. There's the car. Maserati sedan.
Slowing down,
Slowing down a little bit. There's the cops. They're right behind him.
and they just
And
open it up.
Cops try to go. Cops try to go. They're like, oh no, that ain't happening.
Look, you can see the NOS coming out the back of the.
All right, I've got it. I can call it. Eastbound 62nd, just passing 18th.
And there he goes.
Cruisers, back off.
Back off, everybody, back off. Look at him.
He's high rate.
He's like a slingshot.
Yeah.
Man, he's still blacked out. Passing 12th Street.
Blacked out, no lights.
See if we can
And
get somebody-
swerved.
Oh, and he's going to lose it right here. He crashed.
Oh.
He's crashing 62nd, and it's going to be just shy of 10th Street on the south side of the road.
Look how burnt and hot that car is.
That's the underside of the car.
Okay,
It's flipped upside down.
get to the scene. Everyone else, set up a perimeter.
Wow.
Eagle, no one's got out of the car. Should be 3 of them. Let's get FD rolling. Pretty bad crash.
Pretty bad crash. It was 123 miles an hour. 123 miles an hour, guys.
That was fantastic.
Like, you didn't even notice it coming because it was just like so clean.
Oh, it's because you see it because he lost control.
Yep.
He just
Car just swerved out. He hit a sign and flipped.
went whoop 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 whoop,
Whoop, whoop,
and
whoop,
it
whoop,
was
whoop, whoop.
over,
And they were gone.
and it was it.
So
That-
just so you know,
Was all she wrote.
kids, don't do that. It's a bad idea.
Don't do that. Another video.
Another
Oh,
video.
Wow.
Now here's the video. This one, so you know that Dave Rubin guy.
Yes.
Yeah. So he posted this. Obviously, I've skipped ahead a little bit, but he posted this video, tagged it, and all the rest of it. So I'm just going to use the video that he tagged, and it's Dr. Phil,
Okay.
and I want you to watch this because it's funny.
Is it
It is.
really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's very funny.
Of the time that people that I've seen are called out for this, it's not that they were making fun or mocking in some way. It was just that
Yep.
they had adopted a fashion or a style or whatever.
Now, just so you know, okay,
is he
that's Dr. Phil. They're talking about racism in effect, but this guy who's on the screen right now is supposedly a professor.
Supposedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
He's a professor. He's on the show, and he's talking to Dr. Phil. Anyway,
I would say that's a performance. So if somebody's culture and somebody's identity becomes a performance, then it's reductive. So if you're reducing, for example, say the civil rights movement to an afro, and you wear that, or you wear dreadlock wigs, you know, that Rastafarians may wear, you do that because it's edgy, because it's cool, but ultimately because it's not you, and you're getting some kind of cultural capital from that by doing it.
And who's hurt by that?
Well, it's not a matter of who's hurt by it, it's who's being disrespected by it.
Well, who's being disrespected by it?
A whole culture of people whose identities are wrapped in whatever you're dressing into and can then take off.
Amala, you don't agree.
I don't, no.
You think worrying about appropriation is a waste of time?
I think not only is it somewhat a waste of time, but it's nearly impossible. You just mentioned there are nearly hundreds of ways that one could appropriate somebody else's culture or their livelihood. And to expect any one human being to keep on top of that throughout their entire life, I think, is an unrealistic ask. And I think imitation is a form of flattery. I appreciate my food by eating it. I appreciate the hair that I wear by wearing it, by putting on the clothes that I wear. And every single item around us in this room could probably be attributed to a certain culture.
now I want to point out to anybody who's
Very
just
well said.
Anybody who's listening, this is Dr. Phil is playing the mediator, and this is between two people who are black. One is a professor. One is obviously a younger person,
Yeah, she's
and she's the more grounded of the two.
well, I know who she is. She works with
Prager.
Is it Prager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She works with PragerU, but once again, she's a more grounded person.
Well, yeah.
With a better reasoning behind all, like appropriation. Well, everybody appropriates everything. This is America.
Well, it depends on what you're doing with it. Again, if you're
if you're doing it because you actually want it, then it's
because that, like, think
whatever,
about, like,
right?
most of America has been formed and created and brought together because of the amazing things from around the world.
Right.
Americans did not come up with pizza.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. So real quick. I'm sorry.
No, you
because this is where I get confused for somebody who is of Hispanic nature.
What do you mean?
Like if I go onto a job site, people that are the people.
Oh, you
that
get
are,
mistaken.
I get mistaken as Mexican or Spanish or Puerto Rican or something. They speak Spanish to me directly, and I'm like, bro, I'm American.
No idea what you're
like,
saying.
I got a little. Muy pequeño. No habla español. That's about all I got. And is that appropriation, though? Am I appropriating the Spanish culture because my physical person has that? It's like my hair is black. Okay.
But if you were to start speaking Spanish to them,
that would be appropriating.
It'd be appropriating.
But if I was speaking Spanish to them, it would be in respect of them. Well, again, because it's like, I respect the fact that you're here,
right?
And I understand you don't always speak English. Again, I would, if that's the case, which I don't know Spanish.
Fat people like myself can really attribute and understand food. Food is, to me, probably the biggest.
Whoa, what are you saying?
I'm fat and I like food.
No, I love food.
Yeah, but you can't have.
Then I love it even more.
One of my favorites to have is Mexican food.
Yeah,
I love me some Mexican food.
Yeah, you do.
Like
you also love the Americanized bastardizations of Mexican food.
No, I just eat it because it's cheaper and easier than going to sit down. Yeah. I would much rather have the real thing. Having said that,
much rather go to that taqueria.
Yes. Having said all that, though, like I'd go in there and hang out and eat all the time. Why? Because it's amazing food. I appreciate it,
and you don't have to worry about listening to the to the soap operas in the back,
right?
Because it's all in Spanish.
It's all in Spanish. But I'm just saying, like it's incredible. Like you incorporate it into your life, whatever. You do this stuff because you appreciate it.
Yes,
because it's good.
Yep.
And like she said, it's the best form of flattery because you recognize it as a good thing, and you want to take it on yourself because it's a good thing.
Right.
Why can't we do that?
Well, I mean, we're supposed to be able to.
I know we're supposed to be able to, but why is it such an issue?
Because because Barack Obama became president. That is the easiest explanation, because that's when all this crap started back up again.
Well,
do we have to constantly worry about what culture we gain things from?
You really put those on the same level?
I absolutely
Racism
do.
and sexism, you put it on the same level as cultural appropriation.
That's exactly.
So if somebody wears their hair like you're wearing it, you put that on the same level as racism.
Absolutely. Wow. I put that on the same level as white supremacy, because white supremacy is intersectional.
A professor. I mean, this man is a professor at Arizona State.
Did you hear that? White supremacy is intersectional. White supremacy is intersectional.
No, it's not. It's not.
That's what he says.
And he's an idiot.
Well, yes, obviously he's an idiot. He's one of those people. He's gotten to the point to where he's gotten smart enough to where he's dumb. He's brainwashed himself into a line of thinking.
It's just incredible, though.
That is filled with hatred. Filled with dissent and hatred of your fellow man. So much so that you cannot take what a person is doing as their best. Instead, you have to look at it as the worst case scenario at all times. And to him, the worst case scenario is cultural appropriation, racism, sexism.
That saddens me. Like, to have that kind of a life.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, when everything is an offense.
Right.
When nothing is good, you know what I mean? Like, that's just...
Like, there's a difference, okay?
Seriously,
So
that's just
we were gonna have
so stupid.
Last Monday when we had all the problems with everything, and we, Dylan was not feeling well and all the rest of it. We were gonna have a guest, okay? And that guest found out afterwards that guest who didn't show up, which is one of the reasons why we just had a replay, because I didn't have anything really prepared and I didn't want to do the show by myself because it would have been boring. That guest in particular, I found out was. He was a MAGA guy.
Okay.
But he was also an actual racist.
Oh, good.
Also an actual racist and a bomb thrower at that. And I'm really glad he didn't come on the show now.
Yeah.
Because now that I know that, now that I know where he's at and where he supposedly comes from, I don't want to be associated with that guy.
I don't either, but had we been able to find that out on the show, we could have destroyed him live on the air, and that would have been fantastic.
But we didn't know. We wouldn't have known, because we would have just accommodated. But the reason why he didn't come onto our show is because apparently we didn't have a big enough reach for him to feel like it was worth his time. That's fun. Gotta love that.
No.
John Adams once said, "But a constitution of government once changed from freedom can never be restored. Liberty once lost is lost forever." Nearly 250 years after Adams famously wrote those words to his wife, have you been left wondering if liberty is indeed lost forever? Many people are feeling that way, and who can blame them when they hear things like,
"History is truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected."
With talk like that, maybe liberty is dead.
And now's the time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there.
Or is it? From the people behind the #1 critical thinking podcast in the world comes Reviving Liberty, a podcast experience unlike anything you've heard before. Join your host, Andrew Coppins, on a path towards rediscovering what liberty is and how we can apply it in today's age of darkness and tyranny. Get ready for a liberty mindset in your life. Andrew will be with you soon, taking the first steps on the path toward reviving liberty with you. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and engage with the show by visiting revivingliberty.com and follow Andrew on social media at The Coppin Show.
This is Defenders Live.
James over on Twitter, not enough reach. 4 people here plus the live audience.
I know, right?
Which is one other person.
One other person.
And that's
just what
and
it
they don't
is.
even pay attention. So,
Yeah, no, they're just there.
So
Just kind of out in the back.
Which, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's been on the air doing this for 5 years now, and
well, he was.
This is the extent that we have. It's 4 people, 5 people total. So
apparently, he has a cutoff point, and it's like the multi-millions. If it's not a multi-million person show, then he doesn't care. Whatever, dude.
Like whatever.
James also on the Twitter said, wearing a sombrero and a poncho and mask quoting Speedy Gonzalez, you're not doing that. So.
Yeah, but
I don't do Speedy. I do Slowpoke.
Well, here's my thought too. Is like
he's his cousin.
If you go like into a Mexican restaurant though, and you try to speak Spanish to them,
they don't care. They're like, thanks for trying.
They actually kind of get excited, like, oh, you speak Spanish, and they get excited, they get happy.
Yeah. They're not looking at you like, how dare you
right
appropriate my culture.
Right. So why are you doing that? Like, is it because you just haven't sat down and decided what your culture is? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Normally people complain like that because they don't have their junk figured out.
Right. And that's what's going on. This guy's a professor at a university and whatnot. He doesn't really have his crap figured out.
But
and
he
never
thinks he
will.
does.
But he never will because he's so screwed up.
Right. Because,
and he's looking,
everything is an offense.
And when you saw that, like when we were watching that thing, when she was talking, when the young lady was talking, he was sitting there with the most,
the
snarkiest, ugliest, like, oh, that sort of face, the one that you just want to punch.
Yeah,
because it's like, poor little you, looking at you, poor little you. I'm so sorry for you not understanding, being brainwashed by those white people at Prager University.
Right.
It's like, she was accepted to Prager because she believed that way to begin with.
Yeah, she's smart like that.
She's smart. Anywho. Also, Adam W. Johnson over there wanted to let us know that he is here and ready.
Questions?
If we have any questions about the toilet papers.
Good.
Just saying.
Good. I'm glad that he...
Well, last night we needed it.
You are our resident custodial engineer.
Right. And we need that sort of thing. By the way, I had to fix a toilet today. Speaking of, because I had to fix a toilet, like completely take it apart.
What was wrong with it?
So the flush valve was it was one of the newer plasticky ones that just had like the little tube that goes.
Oh, I hate those.
And it never sealed.
They never do.
And so this one, like these people were complaining that it was slowly draining out and having to reset and everything, and it was always going on. So they had it turned off and whatnot. Found out that was exactly the problem. It isn't heavy enough.
Yeah.
So the moment that it just drops and kind of bounces and it never seals fully on there. So I replaced it with a brand new regular one.
Yeah, that's what I've done. Every time I put a regular one on there. I don't know why they put these things on there.
Like these specific like slow flush whatevers and
yeah.
Stop it. Just put a dang plunger in there.
Do it right because you're not saving that much water because when it doesn't
flush and it continually drains, it's wasting.
Yeah, you're wasting water at that point.
They had it cut off completely because they were like, we just don't want to deal with it. The noise itself was annoying enough to them. They're like, nope.
Forget the fact that our water bill is now $300 a month.
Yeah, right. It was
just from this toilet.
Yeah, exactly. Snow.
Yep.
But anyway, so the Matt Walsh's has a TikTok.
Well, no, that was actually Daily Wire. Oh, no, that is Matt Walsh. I'm sorry.
That's Matt Walsh specifically. Matt Walsh. But so there's a TikTok. You wanted to play
found this. Yeah, so there's a thing that about this that clearly it was enough for him to say he needed to talk about it.
Right.
And so I've decided that I want to talk about it.
Okay.
Because though you can blow it up like that. That's fine. Well, I'm saying it's not going to change anything.
Really?
Yeah, it's not. There you go. Yeah, just like that, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Because I don't care. Like the point is the audio. I don't give two flying figs about the sound.
Yeah. The video.
Or the video.
Right.
But he felt it was important to talk about this. And I watched this whole exchange and I'm like, you know what? No. I like Matt Walsh, but just go ahead and hit play. Well, just hear what he has to say. He's talking about the new wave of stuff called, I guess the younger generation is calling Act Your Wage.
Act Your Wage.
Your wage.
Okay.
So go ahead and hit play.
The Act Your Wage trend, which has taken off on TikTok, is apparently best explained by this viral video, which has millions of views, from TikTok user Sarai Marie. Let's take a look.
Do you even know how to do your job? I don't understand what...
Hey, Veronica, I'm going to have you take this home and work on it tonight, okay? Respectfully, Susan, I'd rather spend time with my family.
She's acting
Veronica,
like a telemarketer.
Did you just decline the Zoom meeting that's at 6:30 tonight? Oh, yeah, I did. I did do that. Yeah, because it's outside of my working hours, 9 to 5, so I won't be attending. All right, Veronica, I do need you to be available during your vacation, okay? Susan, you'll be blocked on my vacation because I won't be answering.
It would appear that acting your wage means being so grating and annoying and shrill that you end up sitting alone in an empty corner of the office because everybody else has jumped out the window. Yes, don't go above and beyond. That is indeed the timeless mantra of losers and mediocre nobodies everywhere. If you're only going to do the bare minimum, and on top of that, you're also unpleasant, disrespectful, and irritating, there's no reason for your employer to keep you around any longer than it takes to find some other warm body to sit in your chair. You have to always ask yourself that question. I know we don't want to ask ourselves this question because it's a difficult question to ask, but you know, at your job or whatever you're doing, it's like you have to ask yourself, what role am I really serving? Am I even needed? And if you've made yourself expendable, that's going to be a problem for you. The other way to approach it is to strive to be indispensable, invaluable, undeniable.
Okay.
But that takes effort and it takes talent. And here's an important point. It takes time. The act your wage trend, which has taken off on TikTok.
Okay.
Talent, effort, and time.
Now, I want to start this off by saying that I like Matt Walsh.
Yes.
We actually
generally agree with the guy.
The funny that we share tattoos in the exact same spot, actually.
Yes, you do.
It's funny.
Yes, you do.
I don't know why I find it hilarious.
That's a good thing, though. I mean,
it's exactly the same thing and in the same place. It's really weird.
I mean, you could be bros.
Well, maybe. I don't know how he'd feel about this. But so I listen to this and
Cousins.
We'll take cousins.
Okay.
Generally,
it's twice removed.
Even with this whole thing, I on the one hand, I agree with him.
Okay.
He's right.
Yes.
When you go into a job, you want to make yourself indispensable. You want to do the best that you can. Or, I know Steve and I's philosophy and when it comes to
anything
our day job,
doing,
but anything we put our hands to it's our job to make the boss's job easier.
Right.
Because that guy has to answer to other people that's a lot harder and is a lot bigger of a deal.
So at the end of the day, if we do our job right, the boss doesn't have to do as much work.
Right. And as long as, everything flows like it's supposed to, we're all doing good.
Right.
Okay. On that flip, though,
we get screwed every time.
Well, I was going to say, here lately especially.
Yeah.
No, but no, there is a very fine line. I've always said this for like many years. There is a fine line between initiative, making yourself indispensable, and getting walked on.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry.
Once you play your hand, because you have to be careful with it.
Well, there's the reference that they used in this thing. Well, by the way, she was annoying as crap.
No,
that was a terrible video.
I grant that he was right. She was shrill and irritating, blah, blah.
Irritating, yeah. Absolutely.
But everything that she said?
No, everything she said no to.
I agree.
Yep.
Because here's the deal.
6:30 in the evening.
Yeah.
After work, I'm not getting on a Zoom call.
Yeah. No. Sorry. I've gone home. I'm done.
Are you paying OT for that?
Right. Because here's the deal. I've been enough work and doing enough things in my life. Now, I have technically screwed myself to a degree, but I've been and worked at enough places where you put in 110%. You are there every time they call. You're the one who, braves.
You're literally the guy they call.
Right. You're the one they call. But then come time for raises or promotions
you're also
or
the guy
whatever.
They skip.
Yeah. You're the last person they go to. You're the last person they talk to. They don't care about you.
But that's because, one, you're always doing it anyway.
Right. That's why I said it's a very fine line between initiative getting walked on.
Yep.
Because you start showing that, hey, I'm willing to do this at this level.
Right.
They're not going to turn around and reward that, oddly enough.
Well, that's a problem with this generation and this generation of business owners. In a lot of ways. Not the business owners in particular. It's actually the fact that we have it's the middle management.
Yeah.
It's the generation that we have and the raising of middle managers, okay?
Yeah.
So when you have middle managers are people that have no real talent, no real drive or ambition.
And no real use if you want to get technical.
And literally they have no use at all. Absolutely no use. Middle managers have zero use as far as my work life has ever been involved.
Yeah.
All they do is they make themselves look good off the back of the people that are working.
Right.
So if you're not a kiss ass and you're not a brown nose and you don't make it look like you're doing all the work, even though you haven't touched anything in the past 3 months, then you're not going to get ahead in these organizations because they don't pay attention to it. Big business in particular, those higher end companies and all the rest of it, they can't pay attention to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay? They can't.
It's
Now,
impossible. Yeah.
Well, just like James said, there is a biblical work ethic for Christians. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you're right. He's like, you're not doing your job for your boss. You're doing it for God. And you're right about that.
That's true.
But you can't work yourself into a spot where you are taken advantage of to the point to where you are not getting raises. You're not getting promotions like you need to. You're not being rewarded for the effort you're putting in.
And by the way, that whole idea of you're working for God, okay, what did you actually do for God in that?
What do you mean? Oh, well, no, yeah.
Like, if you're a cog in a giant wheel that does absolutely nothing,
yeah,
just spins.
And I mean, yes, you're supposed to still do it like you're doing it for God.
Supposed to still do it like you're.
But the point is
God,
what I'm saying is when you can do so much and push really hard to get to a point to where ultimately they take you for granted.
Right. There needs to be boundaries set up.
Right. Because if you don't, then you get walked on and your family's time starts to suffer. Your own personal health starts to suffer because now you're doing all of this extra work.
Yep. You're stressing about
for
it.
nothing extra.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that you don't put an effort into it, but very much I've told people, bosses to their faces.
Yeah.
And interviews and everything else. I don't request vacation time and time off. I don't ever request time off. I'm telling you when I will not be here.
It's like, here's where I'm not going to be here on this day.
Yeah, you need to make adequate
recompense.
Well, adjustments. Yeah, you need to make sure there's coverage. You need to handle this because I don't.
It's not my job to cover for you.
Yeah, I don't live to work.
Right.
I work to live.
Yeah.
Okay? When you go into that interview, the exchange is there. Here's what I'm giving you. Here's what you're giving me.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-da! You know, like that's how this is going to go.
I'm going to send you an email, and it's going to be at least 2 weeks in advance, and it's going to say, I am taking these days off.
Right. You don't be a douche and be like, I'm suddenly going to be gone for a week starting tomorrow.
No, like 2 weeks in advance, or at least that long.
Yeah, but you can be. Some companies are good. A lot of companies aren't.
Right. Some companies will specifically try to black out dates where you can't leave or do anything. It's like, sorry, dude.
Yeah, I will not be here. And if you're going to harass me about it, or if you're going to threaten my job or what have you, then I don't need to be here.
Right.
Because that's the thing. I'm not here to. I'm here to work. You know,
right? I'm trying to make an income so that I can support my family.
Yeah, I was to say, I've entered into an agreement with you that I'm going to work these hours. I'm going to get this amount of pay doing this type of job. Right. That's all I care about. Now, I will every now and again. I always do. I will, I'll help out. I'll do something extra.
Oh, yeah.
But then we'll see how far that goes. We'll see what that looks like.
Right.
If something pops up and I say I need to have a day off because my kid's sick and I have to stay home or
don't
whatever.
And you forget about all the times that I've helped out in the past and all the rest of
Right.
it. Just like, well, no, I need you here today. It's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
It's not going to happen. Right. You screwed the pooch there, sir. I'm just telling you. He's right. You give everything. You do the best that you can. You do a good job.
Right.
But at the same time, you need to set up the boundaries for yourself because it can. I can't be the only person who knows and sees this. I can't be.
Well, no, that's the point. So, for anybody out there, this is a great book. It's called Boundaries. That's exactly the name of the title. You should go buy it now. You should read it tomorrow. And you should understand you could implement that book in every single relationship that you have, business and personal, and it will save you so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because all you have to do after you set it up is talk to the person, be like, oh, I've told you about this, right?
Yeah.
This is the boundary, right?
Yep.
This is where the line is. You've crossed it.
Yep.
So here's what's going to happen because you crossed it.
Yep.
And that's all you have to do. It's no emotion involved, no nothing involved.
Yeah, you don't have to be a douche about it.
You crossed a boundary. We need to discuss this. Here's what has to happen. After this point, if you cross it again, I'm cutting ties.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. It ain't nothing personal. It's business. See, the thing about it is Matt Walsh in there mentioned it a second ago.
Yeah.
He actually admitted it and said, the thing is, you're working for companies. You're just a body.
Yeah.
You're just a warm body. You can not show up tomorrow and they don't give a flying fig. They'll find somebody else and they'll put their in spot. And
a temp company could have somebody in there the following day.
Right. Quick in and out, no big deal.
With just enough experience to get by.
Mm-hmm.
And really, one person leaving does not affect the entire.
No.
Unless you are the only person in that department.
Yeah.
And then that's their fault.
Right. So, like I said, I agree with the sentiment. You definitely go in and you try your best, but you need to be, like you said, you set your boundaries. You do it sparingly. If you're getting some form of recognition or appreciation for what you're doing,
then continue on.
Then you continue on. You do a little bit more. You don't walk in and play your whole hand and be like, "Here I am."
Yeah.
And then they go, "Wow, we've lucked out. We're paying this guy this much when he's clearly worth twice that."
Yeah, at least twice that, and he hasn't said any problems about it.
Right.
It's like when you go for a company, okay, and they always say, there's a 3-month review for plus and plus, and there's a 6-month after that, or whatever else, or we give raises once a year, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. When that time comes,
yeah,
and you've done a great job, you know that you've pushed, you know that you've gone above and beyond, and you wait, and things don't happen. And then you wait a little bit more and things still don't happen. And then you send an email and nobody responds. That tells you how much they actually care about you doing that work.
Right.
And that should then, at that point, you should recalibrate your emotional attachment to this job.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, a job, whether you enjoy what you're doing or whether you're just sledging through because it's all you can get,
mm-hmm.
You do need to be doing the best job that you can, but within the realm of taking care of yourself.
Yeah, taking care of yourself and respecting of the other people around you.
Right.
Being a douche about it, nobody needs that.
Yeah, if you, like I said, and I've told the bosses that I'm not showing up. Now, I've not been as douchey as I'm sounding like I'm doing. Because I've never asked for time off. When I walked in and be like, "Hey, I'm not going to be here that day." That's how I usually do it.
Yeah, but it's
or I'm not going to be here from this time to this time because I have blank.
Yeah.
And
it's, hey, by the way, just so you know, these days I'm going to be off because of this.
I have turned around when they've tried pushing it, saying, "Well, you need to." I'll be like, "No, I have to do this. I will not be here."
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being ugly about it, but I'm not going to be here. So you do what you need to do.
Right.
And that's where you start finding out how well the company really is. Because like you said,
if it's a middle manager that doesn't care about anything and just wants you there for the body,
right,
then you'll find out that day.
Then go find another warm body.
Yeah, go find another warm body.
You're not going to take advantage of me.
And
because
you go find another job while you're waiting.
I have other responsibilities than this. My life consists of more. My identity consists more than just being this job and an employee at this location,
right,
of this place.
Yeah.
I'm also a dad. Fiance. I've got a dog owner.
There's a whole litany.
There's a litany of things that goes on. I'm a brother. I'm a father. I'm a friend. I got all these things. I have all these other hats that I have to wear and all these things I have to juggle. And I'm not going to sit here.
Are you a sinner and a saint?
I am, oddly enough.
You do not feel the same.
I do not feel the same. Right.
Sorry. I completely derailed your thought.
You did, because now the song's running through my head.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
It's my fault.
But the point is I have a lot of other things going on too. And job, albeit an important part of it, is not the end all be all.
Right.
I'm not. I would love. I've wanted since I was a kid. I wanted to find one job, get into it, and
stay there
and retire from it.
Can't do that today. Can't do that in this society.
Well, you can't. Not anymore, no. Because, I'm not going to get walked on. You're not going to treat me like crap.
The longest I've been able to stay at one job is 4 years.
No, 5. It was over 5.
No. One specific company.
When we were in Virginia, it was over 5.
3 companies.
Doesn't matter. It was the same location, same thing. They just changed names. It's the same job. You were there for over 5 years.
I was there for 5 years, but I was there under 3 separate companies.
That's the company's fault. That's not your fault.
It's true.
Okay? You were at the same location doing the exact same job in the exact same position.
Okay, 5 years. We'll say 5 years.
The only thing that changed was your uniform. Shut up.
My shirt.
It was your shirt. Shut up.
Yeah.
It was the same thing.
And I guess technically I could have still been there if I didn't want to, if I still wanted to deal with the bullcrap.
Right. It's just, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I wanted that, and I wanted to be able to retire. At this rate, I'm not going to be able to retire. I'm going to be that guy working into his 70s and 80s, and I'm going to drop dead wherever I'm working.
Probably.
And that sucks. I don't want to do that. But
that's what it is.
What's going to happen. You know? And I'm just, again, you do the best you can with where you're at. You find something you're happy with, and find something that you feel like you're growing in.
Yeah.
That it is give and take. Sometimes you're going to give the job way more than what they're ever going to give you. But as long as they're trying to compensate at some point, as long as you're getting some form of a recognition or some form of at least understanding. Again, going back to the whole, hey, I need to take this time off, blah, 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 blah. You're not even getting hassled for it. Then I'm good with that.
Right.
I'm good with just that. You don't have to keep giving me, a yearly raise of $1 or a promotion every single time. Just work with me. If I'm going above and beyond to work with you in to fill holes that you have needs for, then when I have a need, you need to be there to do the same. Yeah. And if you're not, then this is clearly not an even exchange, and I'm not going to be a part of it.
Right. I'm only going to be a part until I can find something better.
Right.
Or at least a replacement.
So like I said, I agree with what he says to the one hand, but you have to be able to say that, because I'm telling you now, if I was Matt Walsh and there was some issue where I was being expected to do all kinds of extra stuff for the Daily Wire and not getting any consideration for anything,
compensation,
which I don't think would happen, but let's just assume for the sake of the argument that it was.
Right.
Love, peace, and chicken grease. Yeah. Not like a fat kid in dodgeball.
Right. And
with
his standing, he could do that easily.
Well, but it doesn't matter. Even screw his standing. I'm talking about just anything.
Yeah.
I would move me into obscurity again. I don't care. I'm here to take care of my family and do my job.
Right.
That's it.
Beyond that.
Yeah, anything beyond that is a favor to you. And by extending a favor to you, you better be extending a favor to me.
Right. It better be an IOU at least.
So, something, just remember this down the road. Not that I'm one to always take time off or do whatever, but if something pops up and I have to do something, you need to not be a douche about it. You need to be understanding.
Right. Because that's how you
So
work
again, a lot of what I didn't like about this video was the fact that he was basing it off of just the superficial, just the cover of everything.
Right.
Yes, she was shrill. Yes, she was irritating. Yes, she was literally acting like a child.
Petulant child.
Very petulant child.
Yes.
Okay? But there was nothing about what she said that I don't personally disagree with in the realm of
possibility.
Or in the realm of, you're starting to be treated like crap.
Yeah.
Now, if you agree to do a job and everything that she was being asked
was stuff that she would agreed upon already.
Right. Because there are some jobs.
I'm sorry, except for the whole vacation thing.
No.
I can't.
There are some jobs. Nope. There are some that will tell you out the chute, hey,
if you're on vacation and we have to call.
Yeah, you are always on call.
Sorry, no. If I'm on vacation, I'm not on call.
No, but I'm telling you that like some jobs.
Oh, I know there are companies
they
that
will
like
say that. And if you say yes, I agree to always be on call, then guess what, Toots? Whenever it's time, whenever you go on vacation, you're on call.
Right.
You don't want to be on call during your vacation. Maybe you shouldn't take the job.
Or have it in writing.
See, a lot of people think that interviews for jobs are you going in to see what this job has to offer for you. You know what I mean?
Well, no.
Like, what are you going to give me? And then, but they also assume that it's more of the other company sizing you up, deciding if you're a good fit or not.
Yeah.
The same is on the other side.
Yeah.
Go into a job interview.
Is it a good fit for you personally?
Is everything a good fit? Right. Is all the ins and outs, the nuances, the stuff that's not in the Indeed, art or clipping or whatever that you found us in, or the Craigslist ad or whatever?
Because for a fact, that during that interview process, they're going to ask you questions that are specifically rated to experiences that everybody else has had already in that job field.
Yeah.
And if you don't catch on to those cues, if you don't pay attention to what's going on, if you don't listen to what's happening, you will miss the fact that you might get ransacked.
Right. And again, and there's nothing wrong with going in there and interviewing the company while you're there. That's what you're supposed to be there. Yeah, the interview is not just for them to see if you fit.
That's why they ask if you have questions.
Right. And don't be afraid to ask them. Yeah. Get clarity.
Mm-hmm.
If you have it on anything, if you got burned from another company before, said this is where my pet peeve is, and ask the questions in that vein. Make sure you're happy and comfortable with it.
Right.
And understand it all. Because again, going back to if you're on a job that requires you to be on call literally 24/7, 365, and it doesn't matter what your vacation is, then guess what?
You're on call.
You're on call, tough noogies.
Because you accepted that job.
Right.
Without any bylaw saying you're exempt.
That's the reason I didn't like this video, and this is why I wanted to talk about this, because that video, albeit I agreed with both of them, both sides are presenting a section of it with the entire video being entirely misleading. Because you don't know how the company is.
Right.
You're assuming that this lady is just being a petulant child for the sake of being a petulant child.
Right.
You don't know any of the nuances, and that's totally unfair. And coming from Matt Walsh, that bothers me.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of respect for him. Yeah. I like him a lot. And to see him do this from this angle without even acknowledging the possible nuances.
Right.
Bothers me to no end.
That makes sense.
James over on Twitter, statistically, that means you'll live longer, Dylan Lyles. People die faster after they retire. Well,
that's what I hear.
That's what I hear too, I will never live to find that out. He also mentioned that he was at, he's been with Walmart for 5 years. Good with you. Congratulations
Good job
on
that. Yeah.
You know,
did you get the pin or the trophy or the baubles?
Yeah. He also said, if Dylan Lyles gets on his knees, I'm thankful there's no video.
There won't be.
I hate you. He also said their employees or employers are just as replaceable as employees.
Yep.
You're not a slave. You can go elsewhere. Exactly. And that's my point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not here to work myself to the death. I'm here to pay my bills so I can provide for my family.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to do that with a healthy balance of being able to spend time with them and still get the job asked of me. So
that's right. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we try to get done with everybody.
Go to the website, DOAEshow.com. Become a defender with us. Follow us on all the social medias at DOAE Show. Use the hashtag #ArmYourselves. Always be excelling. Always be excelling.
Always excel.
Always.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.